Alright, hi everybody. This is Chevonnese Chevers from Night Vision Media.
There it is, Night Vision Media. It wasn't pointing. Right. And this is Kevin Jackson, also of Night Vision Media Limited. So it was last year. I look back, we have a magazine, or had a magazine, have had a magazine. And I was looking back and I saw the ad in it for Maroons coming soon. Kevin, that magazine was in 2010.
So, coming later?
Coming much later. A few years later, finally, we've given birth to the first episode of Abeeku and the Maroons. And this dude was the one. He's the brainchild, writer and creator, everything. He came up with the idea and he was just like, Chevy, I have this idea. And anybody who knows me, I'm a little bit excited. So I said, yes, let's run with it. So I'm going to have him talk to you about, the idea.
Yeah. Alright, so the idea about Maroons, to be honest, I'm not even sure if I remember exactly the moment it came to me. But
because it was so long ago.
Yeah, it was so long ago. But honestly, I think every Jamaican has a fascination with the Maroons. You know, they're freedom fighters. They're essentially like Jamaica's first heroes.
This is true.
Right? And of course, we have Nanny, who's kind of like a superhero.
And she's a girl, like awesome.
Yep. She's like essentially the queen of that tribe. She's a leader. She, she's a national hero. Any which way, I thought, boy, it would be really cool to have an animated series about the Maroons. Now, even though I was speaking a lot about Nanny a while ago, what I did with this story was I wanted to tell it from the perspective of someone who, met the Maroons and became a part of the Maroons and are essentially watching it in a sense from our point of view, an outsider looking into the Maroons rather than talking about the Kojo and the Nanny.
Exactly.
We would be looking on those characters from someone else's eyes so that we would feel like, we're getting that fly on the wall eye view into the Maroons.
Right.
Also, when doing some research on the Maroons, I realized that Jamaica wasn't the only Caribbean island to have Maroons. And I thought, also having this third person, in a sense, would allow us to kind of travel to any of these countries to explore what Maroons were like everywhere else. And yeah, that's pretty much how the idea came to me. Yeah.
And then we decided, I'm not sure about you guys, but for us, and I'm gonna include Kevin in this, a lot of our culture has been lost during our time. And when I watch Jap anime, I learn a lot about the culture. I'm watching something fictional, but I learn a lot about the culture just by watching their animes. And that was something that we really wanted. That's somewhere where we're coming from with our animation, Abeeku and the Maroons, because we want to give back our culture. we need to know about, who is Jamaica and where we're coming from. Fun fact, did you know that it was the slaves that were running away a lot that were sent to Jamaica? We were the most rebellious ones. Right? So it wasn't the nice ones. I guess that's why we run so well. I don't know.
Maybe.
But those little things, we don't know those things because, it's... And I'm not taking away from the American culture or the European culture, but most Jamaicans know a lot about those countries, but they don't really know about Jamaica.
Yep, exactly. And that's where like the heart of the story or the meat of the story, came from. The idea of wanting to create an animated series that would make people fanatic about their own culture. Yes, Jap anime is really cool. I love Jap anime. I watch quite a few of them.
I love it too.
But at the same time, it's almost a migration of our culture. Like Jamaicans are knowing more about the Japanese culture and they think the Japanese culture is cooler than our own culture, not realizing we have lots of cool stories too. So with Maroons, we developed this story with a protagonist who is escaping from a slave plantation, joining up with the Maroons, and is essentially going to be on this big action adventure. His sister is also involved. You know, he's trying to rescue his sister. And of course, we're not only telling the story of the Maroons, as in the freedom fighters, we're telling the stories of all the other people involved, you know, the slave owners, the guards, you know, all the other persons involved. So it's giving, or I'll let you, I see you want to say something, so just jump right in.
All right, so one of the things that I want to make mention of, it's Abeeku, and this is me because my role in this duo or team is marketing, and I wanted us to take a focus on the fact that people are marooned, not necessarily like, you know, it's a black versus white kind of thing. It's more like I'm alone, and I'm alone in this particular type of situation. So we have Abeeku, who has his own struggles to go through. We have Abina, who is his sister, has her own struggles that she's going through. And we have McNab. Again, he's the plantation owner, but he has his own struggles that he's going through. And so when you look on the name, Abeeku and the Maroons, if you notice, everything else is in commons. It's all the letters are common letters, because I don't want you to think that, well, we're particularly focusing on the Maroons, as in the freedom fighters, you know, the runaway slaves. It's about them, but it's also about everybody being marooned in their own way, you know?
Yeah, and sort of philosophically, it ties back into what we're saying about our culture being lost, because in a sense, we are all kind of marooned, you know, marooned in the sense that there is a slight lack of identity that has occurred because of, you know, slavery, separating us from our culture.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's maroon in that sense as well. You know, through this series, we're going to be discovering our culture, we're going to be discovering more about the Maroons, and we're going to be discovering more about how to handle our own personal challenges in life.
And have fun with Abeeku and Abina and McNab and some other characters. I'm not going to give it away, but we have quite a few characters to introduce you to. But yeah, we're going to be having fun with them as well.
Yeah. One of the biggest inspirations for Maroons in terms of the style that we're going for is Samurai Jack. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like Samurai Jack, but you will see some similarities between the two, you know, because I love the storytelling in Samurai Jack.
I absolutely love the storytelling in Samurai Jack. It's awesome.
And I thought it would be fitting for something about the Maroons. So definitely something that I really hope you guys enjoy, and I definitely think you'll enjoy it. You know, so look out for it. It's coming very soon, not later this time. Actually going to come soon.
Yeah, not later. It's just around the corner. Oh no, I can't use that because that's the thing that Jamaicans say, which takes a long time. No, but yes, it will be coming out soon. All right.
Was it again? April 22 at
Anime Picnic. April 22. Anime Picnic, St. Andrews High School, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yep. Join us.
So please join us.